Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the most, averylr32 here. Welcome back to the YGO Group channel. I am your upload for Wednesday, as you already know. So welcome to Hump Day. Sorry, I could not resist. So enough with the Hump Day references. Today, I'm going to be covering Patrick Hobans' first place ARG Circuit Series mermail deck profile. As you can see, he's using 3 of the Patrick Hobans theory, as someone called it at YCS Atlanta that did a deck profile. So, I mean, hey, if it works, it works. This is going to be an episode of deck dissection, actually. Typically, I'll post it on my channel, but I am going to be posting a little short video on my channel probably tomorrow, since tomorrow will actually be Wednesday. The day I'm recording this is Tuesday. And I'll just post a video saying, hey, if you want to see a deck dissection, go over and check out the YGO Group channel. And my subscribers from my channel can be able to come and check out this video. But in any case, deck dissection is a series where I will take a deck. Can either be a deck that someone sent in to me and I'll review it, or it can be a deck that just recently topped an event like this deck here. And I will review it. I'll say what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and just kind of give my 2 cents on it. Especially since I'm a meta player. Not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but I know how most of the meta decks work. In a nutshell, we'll say. So anyways, going right into the deck, as you can see, he's using the Aqua Spirit Undyne version. This was a version used at the beginning of last format, and then once Dragon Rulers kind of took off, and the format before actually, and then once Dragon Rulers kind of came onto the scene and took off, the Undyne version was just not as good, and it was better just to use the triple title Mermail version. It was just strictly better, and you didn't have to run it, what people thought at the time to be a dead GNX controller. Yes, it is a level 3 tuner, but it's the fact that you have to run that one Dark Machine type vanilla tuner that's not really searchable by any way other than Undyne, so people really didn't like having to use these two in combination with each other. But anyways, jumping right into the deck, we have the 1 GNX controller to go with our 1 GNX Undyne. We have 2 Aqua Spirit, 1 Dragoons, 2 Marksman, 3 Abyss Gun, 3 Abyss Lin, 2 Abyss Megalo, 3 Abyss Pike, 3 Abysstius, 2 Abyss Turge, and 1 Title. I had seen some people at YCS Atlanta using Abyss Lead and some older techs for Mermail, but he decided not to use Abyss Lead, which is really interesting because me personally, I like the card a lot. The fact that it's able to take cards randomly out of your opponent's hand is really good. And the fact that it's not that difficult to summon. I mean, you can just set Abysslin, or as Gage and Capital G call it, Mermaid Bitch. You just play her, or even set her or anything. Your opponent runs over it, boom, you get yourself a 2700 beat stick Abyss Lead. I don't know, that's just me. I like having the 2700 beater that can get random cards out of my opponent's hand. And then he only runs 3 spells, 3 of the Patrick Hobans theory. 3 Upstart Goblin. Self-explanatory. Free draws are free, and in theory you're running 37 cards. Traps: 3 Abyss Spheres, 2 Fiendish Chain, 2 Raigeki Break, 3 Reckless Greed, 1 Torrential, and 2 Vanity's Emptiness. That's everything for the main deck. 40 cards, 13 traps, and the thing is that I like the build a lot. Just looking at the main deck, I was actually looking at some of the comments from VexKiss4666 when he first covered it, when the deck was first released from ARG, and a lot of people were commenting saying it seems to be more of a control build that really just kind of controls the field and dwindles down your opponent's card pool and card resources until you're able to push in for game. And even in the several times that I've tested with this deck, I really haven't synchroed or exceeded a lot. The thing is that you can get somewhat mediocre hands, but that's what the triple Reckless Greed and the triple Upstart's for. You know, of course, Upstart Goblin, that's what Patrick Hobans is best known for. But the Reckless Greeds and Upstart Goblins, you would think, oh, well, you know, especially with Reckless Greed, you got to skip your next 2 draw phases. But yes, you have to skip your next 2 draw phases, but if you use it at your end phase or your opponent's end phase, then you're really only losing 1 draw phase in theory. And it gets balanced out if you're able to activate multiple Reckless Greeds at a time instead of just 1 at a time, because then that'll just you're just screwing yourself over. Same thing with the Upstart Goblins. You know, you have these each for draw power, and then you have these in multiples for draw power. So it's like you already have all that card resource where skipping your 2 draw phases wouldn't really hurt you at all. You have the Abyss Spheres and the Abysslins to search through your deck for your resources in order to exceed or synchro whatever it is you need to do in order to get over your opponent's field. You have Aqua Spirit in order to change your opponent's monster's battle positions if you really need to in order to get over them with like an Abyss Megalo or an Abysstius or one of your synchro or exceeds or what have you. For the side deck, we have 1 DD Crow, 2 Valor, 3 Max C, a Dark Hole, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 Divine Wrath, and 2 Wabaku. For the side deck wise, I like the Wabaku tech a lot. It's really interesting. It's chainable. It's better than Threatening Roar in some cases because it only stops your opponent's attack, and you have to use that upon them entering the battle phase, whereas they can freely enter their battle phase, attack, think everything's okay, no Wabaku. So a really interesting tech there. 3 MSTs, of course, for the back row. Hey, Dark Hole, self-explanatory. 3 Max C, 2 Valors, and a DD Crow. You gotta have those hand traps, especially with the meta not really being established as it is right now, other than Fire Fist being tier 1 now, which was bound to happen eventually. And then the 1 Bottomless, because it is sometimes difficult for this deck to get over high beat 6. I remember playing a game a few days ago where I was drawing really bad, and I had somewhat of a bad opening. Like, I don't really think I played my opening hand like to the best of my ability, or to the best of what I was given. I think I could have played it a bit better, and I actually almost lost to what was it, like Spirits. That's what it was. Almost lost to Spirits because he kept on dwindling down my resources, and I was like, man, I'm gonna lose to Spirits, and so I almost lost, but I ended up making a comeback. I was just able to put like a bunch of beaters on board, like an Abystius, an Abysslin, a Megalo. Getting back stuff with Gund is always good. The Abyss Pike and Gund is just so good. Pike and Marksman to pop their set stuff is so good. But anyways, moving on to the extract, we have Black Rose Dragon and Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree for the synchros. These are, well, not really Black Rose per se is an interesting choice. Of course, it is a nuke the field. But Leo, in case you don't know what this does, it's a 1-tuner, 1 more non-tuner monster. So it's really generic, and it's got 3,100 attack, 1,900 defense. And this face-up card on the field cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects except during your main phase 2. So since it's a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you can make this with GNX Controller and a level 7. So your Megalo, your Abystius, your Tidal, anything like that. You're able to make Leo, and he's so good. The only time that they can target him with something is during your main phase 2. So essentially nothing, unless they're running Phoenix Wing, Wind Blast, or Raigeki Break, which how many people are we seeing running that? And then Phoenix Chain, a lot of decks are running that. So really, the only time that they're going to be able to stop Leo is after he's already attacked and gotten the job done. Then they can play their Phoenix Chain. Which even then, they still have to deal with a 3,100 beater that's still on the board. They never got rid of it. They just stopped his effect. Okay, go ahead and pop him. I'll just do some other plays next turn. Because by that point, I'm most likely already winning if I hit you directly for 3,100. For the extra deck, we have 2 Abyss Dweller, standard. Bahamut, pretty standard. Dire Wolf, Extinction Knight, Alucard. A lot of people at Atlanta were using Alucard. I'm not really surprised that he used it. It's just a good generic rank 3. Same thing with Abyss Trite. These are his only 2 rank 3 choices, which I kind of don't really like because I did have a couple times where I didn't want to go into Alucard or Abyss Trite. I wanted something else like a Zen Mains or just an Acid Golem, something that I could sit on until I could be able to get into a better winning situation. And plus with Abyss Trite taking 3 level 3s, I only had 2 level 3s on board. So I could have made a Alucard, but it really wasn't going to help me out in the situation that I was in. So, and then we have 1 Lava Chain, 1 Dracosac, 1 Abyss Gaios, 1 Abyss Trite, 1 Honor Arc, 1 Big Eye, and 1 Crazy Box. Crazy Box is starting to see a lot of more play nowadays. But all in all, the deck is a control version, essentially, of a Mermail. Me personally, I don't really like to be a controlling player. I like to be more of an aggressive player. Like, I don't know why, but like especially with decks like Chain Beat and Garden Beat, those are like super control decks where if you make 1 misplay, then you're done. This deck isn't like those in the sense that if you make 1 misplay, then you're screwed. I mean, you can still make your couple misplays as long as you like they aren't major misplays, like not attacking with an Abyss Megalo to where you could win, and then next turn your opponent beats you because you didn't attack for game or something like that. But I mean, minor misplays like you swing with a 2400 Megalo when you could have banished 2 waters for Tidal and then swung with 24 and 26 and overlaid into something. Like, I mean, you're still doing something there. Hopefully that makes a lot of sense. Whereas compared to Chain Beat or Garden Beat, if you make 1 mistake, because your opponent's most likely not running Chain Beat or Garden Beat, they're going to be able to get the upper hand on you. Just because that's how Chain Beat and Garden Beat works. You make 1 mistake, then you're just screwing yourself over majorly more than you would with, say, something like Dragon Rulers, which is degenerate on its own. I'm not even getting into that. Or Mermail, or, you know, what have you. Fire Fist, even. So all in all, I don't like the fact that it's a control deck. I am good with control decks. Like, I'm not trying to like sound egotistical or anything. That's what the whole point was before when I was talking about control decks. Like, I'm good at using decks that involve controlling the board. I just don't have the patience for it. Like, if you give me the deck and I test enough and it's a control deck, I will get good at it. Like, I was like really good with Garden Beat. Like, that was like one of my best decks that I piloted like the best. For me, that was one of those decks that was like, okay, here's this deck. If you misplayed all, you're screwed. Playtest a lot, go for it. And I just playtested a lot. I hated how the deck ran, but I was good with it. I don't know. So I think I would be kind of in the same boat with this kind of particular build with Mermail. I really do want to build water though. I haven't been able to. All the stuff has always been expensive, so I picked a lot of the stuff up at Atlanta. So I really do want to try and build this. I have almost everything for it. I'm just missing one emptiness and a few other stuff from the extra deck, a few other cards from the extra deck. But all in all, I do like the deck overall. It's a meta deck. It's a control version of a meta deck. In this case, Mermail. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe to the YGO group channel if you have not already. It would help out all of us. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the video for Thursday. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.